Well, it comes as no surprise to see Angela Stanford being named Solheim Cup captain for the USI for 2026. Six times she's represented the US team, three times an assistant captain. I was not surprised to hear this news at all, but Angela, I'm curious to get your thoughts on being selected.
Well, when I finally got the phone call, I just started bawling. I think it was just a bunch of emotion and I think a lot of people are like, "Oh, well, you're next, right?" And I'm like, "Well, we don't know that. You don't know until you know." And once I finally got the phone call, I think it was just all those emotions of, yes, I want to be. Yes, I don't know if I'm going to be. So, yeah, I just started crying and just over the moon happy.
6 months ago at the Solheim Cup at Robert Trent Jones Golf Club, you and I had a nice little walk and chat there. We talked about this possibly being an opportunity for you at some point down the road. Take me through what's happened since we had that conversation that led then to this announcement today.
Well, I think I'm just in a really good place in my life. I think there have been a lot of things that have happened the last couple years that I've grown quite a bit, and I retired from the LPGA last year. So my playing career is over. Emotionally, being now 3 years removed from losing my mom, I'm in a new house. There've been a lot of things that have happened in my life that I don't know if I could say sitting here today, I wouldn't have been ready. But now I'm in a spot where, I can totally focus on the Solheim Cup and I can give it everything I have. And I've had to grow into that. And I'm very grateful that I'm here now.
Speaking of timing, in 2022, many expected that you would be named captain of the US Solheim Cup team when Stacey Lewis was selected. Did you feel like you got passed over at that time?
No, I think internally, people knew that where I was. I lost my mom shortly after that. And the things I learned from being assistant captain in 21 is you have to be all in. You have to, on every level, emotionally, mentally, physically, to be a captain, you have to be all in. Pat was all in. Unfortunately, I think she was coming off COVID. There were so many things that she had to tackle that other captains haven't had to tackle. So, seeing that and knowing that where I was in that point in my life, there was a huge concern for me and my mom and what was about to happen, and I didn't think that was fair. And that's all I'm going to say. I just think internally people knew that my mom was the most important person in my life, and now looking back, it was a blessing that Stacy was there, and it was a blessing not only for me, but just that the way that she has handled the last two Solheim Cups and the growth we've seen as an American team and as the event has grown. So timing is everything, and I think Stacy was perfect for that time for 23 and 24.
You mentioned Pat Hurst in 2021. You were an assistant captain. You were deemed the keeper of the black book that year. You had all the juicy details on the U.S. team. And then, of course, also being an assistant to Stacey Lewis in 2023 and in 2024. What did you learn from each of them that you feel like you would like to continue in your role as captain?
Well, I mean, I think Stacy and I are pretty similar in how we like to be prepared. No stone left unturned. We like to be on top of details, and I think we worked well together because of that. And with Pat, I think I learned you have to be ready for change. You have to be ready when things are thrown at you that you didn't expect. Pat had a lot thrown at her that she did not expect, and she shouldn't have had thrown at her, but she handled it very well. And to keep that temperament of when things aren't going your way, how do you fix them? How do you go about it without letting everybody know that things aren't going your way? So um, I think I got to see, both ends of the spectrum in that. So I'm very grateful for that.
You mentioned that you and Stacey Lewis are very similar. Now, she very much relied heavily on statistics to drive her decision making as Solheim Cup captain both times around, and not only determining who she would pick to be on her team, but it also dictated who she paired together. Given that you're so similar, do you plan on taking a similar approach?
I think there will be some analytics to it. I think, numbers don't lie. So I think that wouldn't be very wise of us just to throw that out. However, she'll be happy to know this. I am a little older than her. And I have some old school mentality. I believe in analytics, but at the same time, I grew up in an era that stats weren't really looked at that much. So there is a lot more gut feeling and instincts, and we've had the benefit of watching these players and who they've paired with, and I've kept all of that. So I think for me, getting to be a part of the last two and watching how we've paired people, that's going to be a huge advantage going into the next one. Um, I do know there will be some turnover, but um, I think we can use what we've learned the last two. But yes, I think it'll be a mix.
What do you feel like you have learned from those last two that maybe you would like to do differently?
Well, I think each Solheim Cup is very different in itself. So, I don't want to give anybody the impression that we are going to do the same thing that we've done last year. Well, a lot of people think, well, you won last year. Why wouldn't you try to do the same things? Because it won't be the same team makeup. We're going to be in a very hostile environment. We're going away from home. There are so many things that are going to challenge us that we have to take the little things that mattered and the little things that made us better. But you know, it will be different. So we are going to be very prepared. We are going to use numbers. We are going to use numbers to maybe pair people. So we will use some of the same things, but at the same time, it's very different. And I think for me to say we're going to do it the same way, I, I don't think that that's being very smart about it. I think we're going to use the things that worked, and then it's going to be different. So we have to figure out how to make it my own, and this team it's their own.
You mentioned that hostile territory. You'll be leading the U.S. side in the Netherlands. The first time the Solheim Cup will be played in the Netherlands and on U.S. or on European soil. You were a member of that 2015 Solheim Cup team that was victorious in Germany with that record come from behind victory. You actually clinched that winning point for the team that year, defeating Suzanne Pedersen 2-1. What did you learn from that experience and finding victory in Europe that you think can help you and your team next year?
Well, first off, it's very hard to win over there, and you've heard Ryder Cup guys say it. You've heard Solheim Cup players say it, and we've only won three times over there. This will be our 10th time playing in Europe, and to only win three times, it shows it's hard. You win a third of the time, so Um, I feel like for my entire playing career, it felt like me against the world. I wasn't highly recruited. I wasn't, a generational talent. I didn't do anything special, people say, and it always felt like it was kind of me against everybody else. So um, I grew up playing team sports. I love going to other people's gyms. I love going to other people's fields and competing. And so I don't know if it's just the way I'm wired. But I know when you get into one of those environments, you better dig in and you better be on the same page with your teammates. But I love that. I love that bond. I love that challenge. I love figuring out how do we get there? How do we get to the place where we're here for each other and we're going to play for each other and we're going to go try to achieve something that's hard to do. So maybe I'm just kind of wired that way, but I'm looking forward to it.
Now, I reached out to a few of your fellow teammates and assistant captains on what they expect from you as captain. Brittany Lincecum, a fellow assistant at the last Solheim Cup in 2024, told me she thinks that you will be, quote, more drill sergeant like in your approach than some of the more recent Solheim Cups. Lizette Salas, twice a teammate of yours, said, "You're going to be having a lot of fun, but you're also going to mean business." Why do you think your two teammates described you in this way?
Well, Lizette probably hit the nail on the head. Bam's probably closer to. I get what she's saying. I don't know. I think my great influence was Betsy King in 2007. Um, we hadn't won over there since '96, and Betsy was very serious about it. She went in with a plan, and she was very serious. And I could probably, it was hard to find Betsy smiling that week until we were done. But she put assistants around her that made it fun and made it. But I think when you go over there, you have to have somebody that means business. You have to have somebody that's serious about it. You have to have somebody out in front of you that is going to say, "Look, we're going to handle this, and we're going to go over there, and we mean business." And I think you need somebody like that. But I do like to have fun. I do like to laugh at myself. I'm cheesy. I'm goofy. Like I do not take myself that serious because I just I'm clumsy. Like I get a bunch of things wrong, and so I like to laugh at myself. So there will be, I'm sure, a number of times that our players will laugh at me, and that's okay because in the midst of it, when it's serious and it's hard, you also have to kind of laugh and you have to there has to be some sense of lightheartedness about it. So yeah, hopefully they see the fun side of me at some point, and I think they will. But when we get over there, like you want somebody that isn't going to let all the little details slip. So hopefully they know that I'm out in front of them and I'm going to take care of everything I can.
Besides having a good time, these players told me they're so proud to represent their country in the Solheim Cup, but that you really bleed red, white, and blue. Where does this fierce patriotism come from?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I mean, I'm a Texan. I think Texans sometimes have a lot. You hear people make fun of Texans because we have a lot of pride, but I don't know. I mean, I think I know that I grew up in a country that allowed me so many opportunities, allowed me to be who I want to be, and to put on red, white, and blue, and to play for your country is an extreme honor. Not many people get to do it at the highest level, and I don't know. I think maybe growing up and playing team sports and being a part of a team is some of it, but I'm so proud to be an American. I'm so proud of the things that I've been given and the opportunities I've been given in my life. And I love our country. I know it's not always, sunshine and rainbows, and it's not always perfect, but I think Americans at their core, they give people second chances. They want the best. I love our country. I love Americans, and when you put on your colors and you go play in a different country, I just think that you're representing the best country in the world, and I love it.
You'll be facing Anna Nordquist, a European stalwart who will be leading her team when you guys meet in the Netherlands. What do you expect from Nordquist and her team?
If I'm serious, well, she is too. Like she has always come across as she means business, and I think, I have to say first off, she's an amazing human being. The things that she's gone through and the things that she's done in her personal life to get to a place where she can accept this is tremendous. And I have an utmost respect for Anna as a person and also as a player. As a player, she was awesome and is awesome. Just if you look at her resume, just a great player. But I think the tricky part about Anna is that you never really know where she stands because she was always so good at hiding her emotions. Like you never really knew what she was shooting on the golf course, and with me, you always knew what I was shooting on the golf course. So I think that's going to be the tricky part. Standing across from her, I'm wondering what's she thinking. I have no idea what she's thinking because she has the same look about her, good or bad, and that's hard to do because I can't do it. I don't do it. You always know where I stand. So I think that's going to be the tough part with Anna is she doesn't show her cards.
It's going to make for an interesting matchup for sure. It's just a little more than 500 days away, not that anyone's counting. What's number one on your to-do list?
We got to get these assistants announced. I need some help, and we need to start making some decisions. So I can't wait for the world to meet these assistants, and yeah, that's the first big step.
Well, we can't wait to either. Angela Stanford, no surprise to see you named Solheim Cup captain. Congratulations and best of luck next year.
Thank you.